Welcome to the vlog, guys. I get one of the principal architects, right, in the Sabu business unit, right? So Lee Dillworth with me, and we're here again in the VSAN bootcamp. And today, Lee, as we discussed, I would like to know what the biggest improvements from what you think in VSAN were till now, to date. So yeah, you were in the business for quite some time, so that's
yeah. Thanks, Stijn. So that's quite a big question. So
I know we have 5 minutes.
Let's see what we can fit in 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, so obviously VSAN's come a long way in a few years. You know, we released back I think 2014 with 5.5, and you know, back then it was hybrid only. Yeah, and yeah, the pace of development and the release of some of the features has been very rapid. Yeah. I think one of the things that you know, a lot of people overlook is you know, the fact that you know, VSAN is part of vSphere. Yeah, means that you know, we have this ability now to release features, to release new capabilities, you know, at a very rapid pace. You know, we don't have to wait for each year to pass, or we can just release it with a patch, an express patch, an update. Yeah. So it means, you know, we've been able to do, you know, I think we get parity with, I guess, traditional storage systems very quickly. Yeah. You know, from essentially a standing start. Yeah. You know, so we obviously introduced you know, support for things like all flash. We brought in things like erasure coding, you know, support for checksum. Yeah. We then started to, you know, expand the capabilities out, you know, based on customer demand for things like data protection. Yeah. So you know, so back in the early days of VSAN, in the first few releases, some customers were waiting for things like you know, synchronous replication, essentially stretch cluster. Yeah. So obviously that came in as well. You know, and all of those things combined, I think when we got to kind of the 6.0 release, there was a lot of people that maybe had looked at the initial releases and kind of were waiting, and then they were really shocked and amazed at how much it had changed in such a short space of time. Yeah, you know, the pace of innovation was huge, and still is today. We
were doing like releases every 6 months or so in the beginning, so that we needed to come on par very fast at that moment. So yeah.
I think one thing that's interesting is that, you know, we obviously have, as with any product group, we have a roadmap and we have a vision, and we know you know, roughly what the plan is for the next kind of 5 and 10 years beyond. Yeah. But you also got to be flexible and adapt. Correct. And you know, when you look at you know, how HCI is really taken hold in the market, you know, it's, you know, I guess one of the most compelling things about it is the operational model and how it changes that for customers. Yeah. And in terms of making it, you know, as easy to consume storage capacity as they're used to consuming things like CPU and RAM, and have been doing so for 10 years. And you know, but with that has brought, you know, different, I guess, scenarios that maybe we didn't think about, you know, because we've now got people managing large storage farms that didn't do that before as a role. And it means that we've had to you know, put things in the product to help them that we hadn't maybe thought of in the early days.
Initial releases.
So we've spent a lot of time in the last kind of 12-18 months looking at how customers use the product and how you know, administrators have been performing things like maintenance, capacity management, upgrades. And you know, as we've been, you know, observing and learning, you know, we've adapted and we've changed the roadmap slightly to you know, figure out, you know, okay, we can maybe do that a bit better, and we could do something here that we never even thought of. So yeah, it's been really exciting to see.
It's an evolving market as we are in it, so that's great.
Yeah, and we can respond to feedback really quickly as people see new use cases and customers bring that to us. We can look at it and we can assess it, prioritize it, and then if it's viable, we'll put it in the product. Yeah.
Hey, while you were talking, I got an additional question. And the past couple of days, we heard a lot about CEIP. Yeah. So maybe that's a thing which is from an evolutionary part, let's say it's something that brings us value, but the customers as well. And maybe you're best placed to talk about that as well.
Yeah. I think there's some. Ironically, there's a couple of things in the kind of the VMware, you know, HCI stack, which are, you know, real differentiators in the market and don't have the best name, if you want to. So things like, you know, if you look at our control plane is you know, the storage policy based management layer, it doesn't kind of trip off the tongue.
Not really.
But it's one of the most unique things about the platform.
Yeah,
and CEIP, I guess, is similar to that. It's the customer experience improvement program, which is a lot of words to say.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Yeah.
But what that represents is, I guess, a real kind of pivot from what I would say is more of a reactive support experience that customers are used to. If you hit an issue or you do something and you're not sure if that's working as designed, you raise a ticket and then you follow along with the support team and you send a whole bunch of information in. But we're really trying to turn that around now to be more of a proactive experience. I guess you could make that similar connection to something that's got more of a dial home capability, but almost like an umbilical cord back to base, if you like, so that when we're receiving data from customers, telemetry information, or when the support team are looking at a case for a customer, they now have instant access to all of the diagnostic information from that environment, if the customer wishes to sign up for that. Yeah. And the benefit to the customer there is that not only does it mean that any cases they do log, the idea is that the resolution time will be a lot lower,
going down,
because the support engineer can instantly see their environment. They're not having to constantly create a WebEx or a Zoom session in. But the other side of that as well is that we can also then, because we're now kind of connected online, if you like, and there's options, by the way, to do it through a proxy and all that. You don't all have to go and connect your virtual center servers to the internet. But there's also the option for us to be able to inject, diagnostic checks into systems, and actually do that over the wire, if you like. Yeah. Now, if you imagine a case where maybe over the past few years people sign up to some of our weekly distribution emails, and maybe like me, I sign up to them as well, even though I'm an employee. And I get an email, I think maybe once or twice, every couple of weeks from the support team with a list of all the KB articles.
Correct.
It's quite a big list because it covers every VMware product.
Everything in the market and every knowledge base that comes out.
I don't think anybody's going to try and pretend that everybody gets time to read through those.
True.
And sometimes maybe the description that on the URL doesn't always.
And sometimes it triggers something, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes it might not specifically say VSAN in it. It might say something else. Yeah. And you just skim past it and you think, does that apply to me? I don't know. I haven't even read the email. I've just put it in a folder. Yeah,
in the archive or the KB folder or whatever it is.
Yeah, and then if there's a particular issue, for example, let's say there's a driver update from the manufacturer of your controller and it's important. Yeah. And you miss it, but then maybe 6 months, 9 months later, you hit an issue. Yeah. That could have been avoided through preventative maintenance had you known or read the email. Yeah. With this new system, the idea is that when customers sign up to CEIP, which is free to do, it doesn't mean any salespeople are going to call and say, can you buy something? It's a support diagnostic utility. The intention would be that we can then target the information specific to that environment. So if something comes into the VSAN health service and it says there's an update available for your controller, it's there for a reason. It's because you have that controller. Yeah. It's not just randomly come to you.
So you don't need. It's always good that you read knowledge bases, but it's now tailored to your environment, and that is the biggest advantage for our customers.
Yeah, I mean, we all probably deal with all kinds of organisations in our kind of personal life where. You ring up an organisation and have to spend 10 minutes on the phone identifying yourself, going through security checks, explaining who you are and what kind of things you buy from them. And it never feels like a very personal service. No. But if that company that you're dealing with, and that company in this case would be VMware, can tailor information to you, as the customer, you then feel that, okay, this information is essentially it's tailored for me in my environment. Correct. So I know it's been filtered. I know there's an element of work that I now don't have to do anymore because this has all been filtered down for this particular set of environments. So I think there's a huge amount of benefits there, and I think we're now starting to see customers who use this system, really like this way of doing things. I mean, there's all kinds of websites that we've maintained for years that people don't even know exist. I often go to sessions where I show some of the URLs, top 20 knowledge base articles, or top 20, of this or whatever it is, and those pages get updated. Yeah. When I show those links to people, they say, "Oh, I've never seen that."
Yeah, but there is so much out there.
And that's the exact problem we're trying to solve here, because there's a really useful page,
Correct.
of support articles that you've just said you've never ever seen in your life. And VMware are a 20-year-old company.
Yeah, that's it. So
we can't rely on those kind of communication methods going forward.
True.
To help customers. We need to change it to this model.
To pivot it to another model. So,
yeah.
Hey, Lee, great stuff. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for viewing, and we'll soon talk again, I'm sure. So,
Thanks. Welcome.
Thanks again.